No, they've been.
Most of the tour is going to take place on the right-hand side of the boat in the direction of travel. Again, I will let you know when that is not the case. Trump International Hotel and Towers is the lead architect for the tallest building in the world. Does anybody know what that is? The Burj Khalifa in Dubai. If you want a sense of how tall the tallest building in the world is, the list goes on and on. Now there's highlighting the greatest innovations of the day. Think of it as the TikTok of its time. So what was trending in 1893? Well, the British World Fair was held in Paris. Does anybody know the centerpiece of the Paris Fair? Eiffel Tower. Burnham and the gang? They wanted to out-Eiffel Eiffel. 7 million people came, which is roughly half the population of the United States of America at the time, and it turned a profit. First World Fair to ever turn a profit. So, we decided to have another one in 1933 called the Century of Progress. And that was held on what we call the museum campus. That's where you can find the Shedd Aquarium, the Adler Planetarium, the Field Museum, and Soldier Field. Now, that's all part of Grant Park. Also part of Grant Park. But not part of the museum campus. It's the Art Institute of Chicago. It's one of the top 10 art museums in the world. The largest collection of Impressionist art outside of Paris. I highly, highly recommend the Art Institute of Chicago. Now here's a little bit trivia. In 1893, in addition to hosting the fair, we also hosted the very first Parliament of World Religion, and it was held in the Art Institute of Chicago. And it's in that building where yoga made its United States debut. I would have never ever guessed Chicago, but here we are. With that, we're headed down to the North Branch of the Chicago River. We're going to resume talking about architecture, and we're going to specifically resume talking about architecture on the right side of the boat in the direction of travel. Again, I will let you know when that is not the case. So one thing to keep in mind is that all these buildings that we're about to see are built over active train tracks. And building over active train tracks, well, it introduces some interesting structural engineering conundrums. Best evidenced by the building 150 North Riverside. You might be looking at it wondering if the architects ever even built a Lego tower. Now, it was completed in 2017, the architects had. What that means is that every year they pay money to rent the land upon which the building that they own is built. Which is ridiculous. It's just not the most ridiculous thing you're going to hear in this tour today. It's going to come a few more buildings down. Now, Boeing did relocate their headquarters to Virginia. However, they still own the building. I did start to wonder, you see that sign up there? Beginning of 2024, they took it down. Or it just fell out of the sky. Could go either way. Too soon? But they obviously replaced it. Then, on the other side of the bridge, we've got an Art Deco building to North Riverside, completed in the 1920s. Halliburton and Rudo, the architects, is home to the very first public plaza in Chicago, as well as the Chicago Daily News, which is a newspaper that went out of business in the 1970s, but it's where syndicated columnist, Pulitzer Prize-winning writer, and 16-inch softball Hall of Famer Mike Reiko started his career. This whole neighborhood is called the West Loop, and it is one of the hottest neighborhoods in Chicago. You'll find some of the best restaurants in the world. 60, 70 years ago, it was Skid Row. All you were going to find in the West Loop then is cheap. And in America, we have a thing called air rights. That means people own the air above their home, above their property, so no one can ever build on top of it without their permission. Through the years, the owners of Union Station have sold their air rights to 6 different entities, who have turned around and resold them multiple times. It's to the point where the owners of Union Station can't really figure out who owns what. And it's a little confusing. It is, however, the most ridiculous thing you're going to hear on this tour today. People are buying, selling, and renting air. Gateway 2 is an identical 22-story building as Gateway 1, completed in 1867. Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill are the architects. Bruce Graham is the lead architect. Then, on the other side of the bridge, we've got this white building, Gateway 3, completed in the 1970s. Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill are the architects, 54 feet tall. When it was completed in 1974, it was the tallest building in the world. And it remained the tallest building for 24 years. It was built to be the world headquarters for Sears. They actually sold the building and moved to the suburbs in the 1990s. Not a lot of people realize they sold the building because the new owners let us just keep calling it the Sears Tower for over a decade. After 9/11, people didn't want to work in skyscrapers anymore, let alone one of the tallest in the world. So as their leases expired, the tenants moved out, and the building had very little occupancy. So along came the Willis Insurance Company. They're headquartered out of London. Dome, in architectural terms, it's called a Belvedere. That was the home to the Stratosphere Lounge. People are going to try to tell you it's where Al Capone hung out, but he was already in jail by the time it opened. Green Art Deco building with the gold spire on top. The Union Carbide and Carbon building, completed in 1928. The architects of the Burnham Brothers, Daniel Burnham's sons, and it's said to be inspired by their New Year's Eve celebration when they opened a bottle of champagne, and that is their protest to Prohibition. I don't know if that's true or not, but it is 24 karat gold plated. All right, we've got the Chicago flag. It's got the two blue stripes that represent our body's water, Lake Michigan and the Chicago River. The three white stripes which represent the land masses divided by the Chicago River. So north side, south side, and west side. And the four stars which represent important historic events. First star, Fort Dearborn. Second star, Great Chicago Fire. Third star, World Columbian Exposition, or the First World Fair. And the fourth star, Century of Progress, or the Second World Fair.
If I'm gonna post this as a vlog, because I haven't recorded that much, but downtown Chicago is very pretty. Like, I'm gonna take another video, but I am by my lonesome right now. I lost a lot of lashes from the wind, but sorry if I have boogers too. This is what it looks like, and the cool thing is that like everything's walking distance, so I just finished my little boat tour and heading back now.
That's crazy. That's good.